Hi everybody. Hey, it's still April 14th, and I saw a note, a message on my last video, and I appreciate all of what you guys say. Um, the big thing is that when we talk to each other, that as much as possible we get that information disseminated, sent out to other people. I try real hard to get my information accurate as far as you can, in situations like this. Of course, I'm probably going to not emphasize certain things that I should, and probably emphasize other things that maybe aren't all that important. But it's just kind of like a play in a football game, like I said before. I kind of call it the way I see it at the time. So I appreciate your comments, and I even take the criticism, pretty much to heart. You have to. One of the things I learned in the military was that, if the commander makes all his own decisions, he's going to make some big mistakes. You need other minds out there to look at things, and that's really why they have staffs. The staff comes up with these different courses of action and choices, and then you kind of work from there. Nobody knows everything. But when it comes down, of course, in the military, the last person to make the decision is the commander, and then they go with it. In this situation, it's got to be, everybody contributing a little bit of what they know. And I hope that when I do get criticized, that or just critiqued, maybe that's a better word, that as long as you present your side with some dignity and some respect, you'll get the same from me. And so we'll kind of leave it from that. It's since it is outside today and it's nice and it's Sunday. Some people have Sabbath on Saturday, some on Sunday. It doesn't really matter to me which you choose, or neither, as that may be. But I guess what I'll say is always show love to others as best you can. And everybody is human and makes mistakes and gets irritable once in a while. But when we turn the other cheek to our loved ones, that's really important. That's really where it matters, not so much to the world. And I could talk about that statement by Jesus one of these days about, when somebody smites you on the cheek, turn unto him the other also. Well, really what it comes down to is forgiving 7 times 70 is really what it comes down to. So anyway, enough of that. What I did want to talk about a little bit is I was asked about what you can do in a nuclear emergency. Well, I really don't have time to go into that here, but one of the gentlemen, or somebody who, I'm not sure who it was, said that they would really appreciate a video on that. So I will do that for you. It won't be professional, it'll be like this, but I can give you some tips. And since things are the way they are right now, I'll just bring out a few things, okay? And I'll probably miss something here, but I think you'll get the idea. Let's start off in the worst possible scenario. You're in the blast zone. If you're in the blast zone, it's not going to matter much whether it's a 1 kiloton suitcase nuke or a 100 megaton, thermonuclear fusion bomb. You're pretty much done, okay? There isn't much you can do. Yeah, underground shelters and all that, but even that's going to be iffy because of all of the fallout, all the heat. It sucks the air. One of the things about fire bombings in Tokyo and, of course, in Dresden in Germany in World War II was that the flames took the oxygen out of the air. Well, there's going to be a lot of that too. Searing heat. There isn't much you can do in the blast zone. So, let's go to the next scenario, and that you're not actually in the blast zone. The best thing to do is to have supplies, of course, food, water, first aid, changes of clothes, those types of things. There are some things that you can do to prolong your chances of getting some help. And that's what we're talking about now, and also outside the blast zone, well outside, maybe just downwind. Using tape to seal up your windows and doors, keep dust and air from coming in. Change your filters, probably very, very often that way. Have some spare filters for your furnace, your heater. Of course, it might be that you don't have any electricity at all, so that's not going to matter. But if you have like power generators or whatever, then you're going to want to change your filters often. One of the specific questions that he had was, or the person had, was what you do with drinking water. Well, look at it this way, it's kind of, cutting your odds, I guess, or lengthening your odds. If you're dying of thirst, you got 3 to 4 days, right, to drink. Radiation is going to take a little longer than that, so it's kind of the choice of the two evils. If you're dying of thirst, you drink the water, but don't forget, if you don't filter it first, you're going to have Giardia or Cryptosporidium or some other bacteria in the water that will make you sick, and you probably die anyway from dehydration. So you need to have filters, but in the bottom line is, if you're dying of thirst, it's better to drink the water now than to wait, whether it's been irradiated or whether it's contaminated, because it gives you that much more time to maybe seek some medical attention. So it really comes down to that. But if it's at all possible, have at least a water filtration system, one of those 2-micron absolutes that'll take out the smaller parasites and things. It'll take out some of the irradiated particles, but some of the molecules, of course, if it's really bad, will be irradiated too, and you'll pass that on to yourself. But dying of thirst in 3 days isn't an option, so it's better to drink than not. The same pretty much goes for food. Same kind of thing. The TheraSafe that I talked about and the iodine, no matter what, even right now with the Fukushima thing going on, just with that alone, everybody should be taking iodine on a regular basis. And dosages depend on your size and weight, of course, so I won't give you that information. Look that up for yourself. But iodine is important because it keeps your thyroid from absorbing that. That doesn't mean you won't get irradiated in other organs or have small contamination in other organs, but the thyroid's the big thing, especially in children, because they're still developing. So that's important. As far as some other things that you can do, not wearing the same clothes outside in the house. In other words, you have a change area, a place where you can decontaminate when you come in from outdoors or into whatever living area you have. The clothes that you wear outside, you leave outside, okay, and you wash those frequently. And you have a change of clothes and a new pair of shoes and all that you go inside with. If you can shower completely outside, they have those little portable showers you can get with the plastic bags, the field showers, and you can wash yourselves off. Have stations, okay, at least 3 stations, one to take off your clothes, okay, one to shower off, and one to reclothe up. And the reclothing area should be in a place that's the least contaminated, however you want to set that up. So not bringing clothes that you're wearing outside into your living area. That's real important. If you can buy even a small mask to keep you from breathing in particulate matter, the type of thing you use when you're spray painting or whatever, that's minimal. If you can get real respirators or protective masks, then of course that's the next step up, which is good too. Long term, pretty tough. No matter what, long term is going to see some significant problems, because the fallout, the radiation can linger for, about half-life, and it varies, but once one of those things goes off, it's going to be a while before you can safely go in the environment. But as you notice with the cleanup at Fukushima, they're wearing their suits, and the reason why is it's not protecting them from the radiation that they're getting at the time. They wear their TheraSafe or whatever they have to time how long they're there, because you don't want to get too much. Remember, radiation is cumulative, so you try to cut down your exposure. So they go out and they do this work for a little while, but then they dump their clothing, and then of course they're taking their iodine or whatever else that they can to slow down their absorption of bad radioactive contamination. So those are just a few things. Nothing beats a water supply, a food supply, a water filter. Again, the water filter won't take out all irradiated particles, but it'll certainly cut down on a lot of it. And water, you have to be able to replenish it. Trying to store water is a hard thing. A lot more I could say, but that'll be enough for right now. I'm probably missing something, but I'll try to put together a formal presentation and give it to you later. All right. Well, again, thanks everybody. I appreciate it, and it makes me want to do my best. And I'll always try to give you correct and accurate information. And for the most part, I do. Sometimes I don't explain it well enough. I think that's where the problem is. And I'll try to do better on that. All right. Thanks a lot.